Welcome to our first COVID-19 Niagara update on your TV. You're used to The Source bringing you coverage of local events across the region. Today we change focus with The Source concentrating solely on the COVID-19 situation in Niagara. From our Niagara Falls studio, we'll check in with government officials, community leaders, and everyday citizens, all of whom are dealing with the impact of the virus. Please stay tuned. Coming to us from his home in St. Catharines, country superstar Tim Hicks. Welcome to the program today, Tim. It's great to have you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Now, some difficulties for you, I guess, with COVID-19. You were in London when all of this was taking place. Did you actually do your shows at the O2 Arena?
We didn't. No, it was. I thought we were in the clear, so I was there from Monday, waiting to play on Friday.
This was going to be really a big step for you, taking your music to London and a venue like the O2.
Yeah. I mean, we managed to get the shows in Berlin and Amsterdam, and we were set to do 3 shows at the O2 and then fly to Australia. So it was the whole world tour has been postponed at this time. But you know what? It's not so bad because everybody's tour has been postponed. So I don't feel too badly about it. I mean, obviously it's not a great situation, but if it had been like just us that got sent home, or if it was for some reason like we weren't selling tickets or things like that, it'd be a lot more of a drag. But I mean, the entire world is buckling down right now. So I'm just happy that I was able to get a flight home.
And that was my next question. Was there any concern that you might not have been able to get home and you would have been stranded in London?
Yeah, there was initially that panic. We were in a pub when the whole thing happened, and immediately it was like we were in the war room. Everybody was on their cell phones trying to figure out what the next step was going to be. And Timmy Two Pints over here made the mistake of, because I've racked up some Aeroplan points.
Yeah.
So I was able to book a flight home for myself on points and save some money. Only I discovered on the way to Heathrow the following morning that in the panic of the situation, I had touched the wrong square on the calendar and booked myself a flight for this coming Friday. So I had to literally buy a ticket as I was driving to Heathrow. And let's just say it cost me more than my first vehicle. So, but you know, what would you pay to get home to your family at a time like this, right?
Of course. And you're not flying just yourself home. You've got the whole band and the support group as well to get home.
Well, fortunately enough, the band hadn't left Canada yet. So I was set to meet them in Australia, which would have been a mess. So we had tentative plans to go anyway and wait it out. And then, of course, the word came down that, you know, nothing. By Friday morning, everything was canceled. The Australia run was canceled. The Australian government had put caps on the number of people that could be gathered to 250. And we were set to play a festival that's about the size of Boots and Hearts. So, you know, we're talking 20, 30,000 people. So, you know, fortunately, it was just me and a guitar player that were over there, and my management.
Right.
But you know, some of the guys got back and were immediately quarantined. And of course, I waited, you know, before I left London, the word was to self-monitor for symptoms. And by the time I landed, my wife, who's a public health nurse, was saying, you are self-isolated for 14 days. So I've been sleeping in the basement, and I haven't kissed anybody. And I've you know, only been using one. We've got a bathroom down there and a shower. So hopefully, you know, I stay symptom-free.
Let's talk about your wife, Amanda, as a public health nurse. How has her job been affected during this time?
It's like she's joined the army. It's wild. They've mobilized everybody and shifted them out of their normal positions into pandemic relief. So they've got like, I think 50 nurses, or 50 to 100 nurses. I could be wrong on that, but all working the telehealth line. And the other day, prior to the Prime Minister's announcement, they fielded just over 900 calls or something, she said. So, you know, a lot of people are really concerned. They're like, and now they're they're working around the clock. They've got 3 managers on duty 24 hours a day, and my wife's one of them. So the phone's been ringing, through the night. One benefit to sleeping in the basement, I don't hear the phone ring. So there you go.
Last night, you took a step that a lot of artists seem to be doing these
Yeah,
days with the shutdown and with
yeah,
cancellations. You did a live streaming show, and
yeah,
I think St. Patrick's Day as well is near and dear to your heart. I'm
yeah,
sure St. Patrick's Day would have been one of those days where you would have loved to have been on stage somewhere celebrating the day. What was that
yeah.
experience like doing the streaming, and how do you keep that energy up when you're playing to the camera on your computer?
Yeah, that's the weirdest part is not, I mean, as performers, we live for that instant gratification of applause. So, but, we talked about it. My team and I talked about it, and I thought, I've got nothing better to do. And I really just wanted to like, I've been gearing up for a tour, my first world tour, so I got, all the tunes ready to go. And I thought it was a great idea, especially having just released this thing with Adam Doyle, doing the Patty Murphy thing over again. And so it seemed like a no-brainer to me. And then I checked the numbers this morning, and we've reached like 125,000 people. So it was unbelievable to me. I had no idea that people were that starved for entertainment. And I guess in retrospect, you think, well, of course they are. Everyone's been cooped up in their house. But I thought we'd get this kind of the same amount of engagement that we normally do. But the response was unbelievable. It had my wife near tears. That everybody, kind of commenting in, saying how they were really pleased that we did that, and it brought a little bit of light to their day. And I mean, if that's what we can do as entertainers, I'd be happy to do that every other day. I think because I'm singing in the living room anyway, may as well put Facebook Live on. you know.
I'm sure some of the Australians that are missing your shows this week were probably watching as well. I
They
watched
were.
quite a bit of it last night. You did a Taylor Swift cover. Is that something you're planning to do on this tour, or was that just for your
No.
daughter?
Yeah, well, so on this tour, this is super unique, and obviously, we're postponed at this point, but this will blow over, and at some point, we're going to get back out on the road. But my plan was to not have an opening act, so we're going to go out and do 2 sets, and what that does is it allows me to be a little bit fluid in the songs that we play. So there's a section in the show where I'm just going to call out a song and watch the band kind of squirm. So that would fit the bill in that moment. So we're going to break it down acoustically, because I did tons of gigs just on my own or in a duo in pubs, and we're going to kind of showcase that on this run. So that would be a song that I would definitely rotate in. Especially based on the response. Like I literally just learned it from my daughter, because that's her favorite song. But as we were playing it, my wife was telling me that everyone was commenting in saying, you should add this, you should play it on the tour. So I'll rotate it in as one of the songs that we do, because I'm trying to do something different every night, because I've got some fans that do come to 8, 9, 10 shows on a tour. And it's really tempting just to settle into a set list and just repeat it every night. But knowing that there's fans out there that'll see us multiple times, I want to do something different every night. So that would be an example of something I would toss in there.
One of my favorite parts about last night was listening to your kids sing backup. Were they doing that from
Oh yeah.
upstairs? And how are they keeping busy during this time?
Oh, they're driving me crazy. No, I'm just kidding. I love them dearly. They've been really good. I'm just being silly, but yeah, I didn't realize that people could hear them until afterwards, and then I read some of the comments people were really getting a kick out of listening to the kids sing, and they could see Amanda dancing in the reflection, of the pictures hanging on the wall and stuff like that. So I thought that was really neat, because she was doing that to try and mix me up, because she thinks it's hilarious if I make a mistake, right? But really, I think people, they really, they saw that it was a sincere moment and the kids were just being kids. And I think that sort of brightened the moment, which was kind of unexpected and really neat.
Well, thanks again for doing that for your fans
Pleasure.
last night, Tim, and thanks for joining us here on Your TV. It was a pleasure to have you, and we wish you luck as you wait out this self-isolation period.
Thank you. You guys too. Stay safe, wash your hands lots, and hopefully next time I can come into the studio.
Thanks, Tim. We'd be really pleased to have you. We'd like to thank all of our guests today on our COVID-19 Niagara update. And in case you didn't get a chance to watch Tim Hicks as he streamed from his basement last night, we'll end the program taking you out with some footage from last night. You've been watching The Source on your TV, the COVID-19 Niagara update. My name is Mike Balsam. Thanks for joining us.
Sing along to go hell yeah, me too. That's what a song should do. Whoa, 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 that's what a song should do. That's what a song should do. Whoa, 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 should mean something to you. What puts that flicker in the flame? When your candle burns out, what song ain't gonna play? What song ain't gonna play? So we can go hell yeah, me too, yeah. That's what a song should do. Should be it all night, all night. Work on telling the truth. Yeah, should be the soundtrack singing in the morning on your line. Read and keep the body going till the sunrise. Can't ever sing along to. Should we go hell yeah, be true. That's what a song should do. Stay safe out there, everybody. Wash your hands. Don't be silly. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Cheers. We don't know how to shut this thing off.
It's taped.